YouTube, welcome to DigiTales. I'm Olivia and today we're going to be doing a review of one of our new favourite anime shows, Re:Zero. So we're going to have a look at some of the characters, the plot line, storyline, kind of give you guys our kind of thoughts and feedback. Hopefully we're going to get to see season 2 soon, fingers crossed. I'm also going to be dressing up as one of the characters for Comic Con in a couple of weeks time. So we're going to do a bit of a shoot for you guys so you can have a look at what I'm going to be wearing and which character I'm going to be dressing up as, and then obviously we'll be doing that further once we go to Comic Con in a couple of weeks time. So quick warning, there will be some spoilers in this video if you have not seen Re:Zero yet. So if you don't want to see any spoilers, then you can jump to the Cosplay Shoot and have a look at that instead. We won't be giving away any major plot twists, but you may just want to stay away from it if you want to watch the program with a completely fresh start. So we're first introduced to Subaru, the main character, as he walks out of a convenience store and suddenly finds himself magically transported to a totally different universe. It's quite a funny start because he kind of, there was a few moments where he sort of breaks the fourth wall a little bit, so that was quite funny. He jumps to conclusions like really quickly. He obviously plays a lot of video games, like I do. So he jumps into this like new magical world and instantly he's like, oh, I've been transported to a new magical world. Like he just states it outright. And then he's like, okay, and this is the point where I get my new magical powers. And it doesn't actually work out for him at that point. It's quite funny. It kind of takes the mick out of itself, out of anime a little bit, out of gaming a little bit. So yeah, I thought it was good start, good first impressions all around, and it did make you want to keep watching. So as the story progresses, we get to know Subaru a little bit more. We do find out a little bit later on that he does have a magical power, but it just takes him a while to figure it out. So essentially, he becomes quite frustrating at the beginning, if I'm honest. It's kind of like, why are you such a moron? Why is it taking you so long to figure out what your magical power is? Because for us as an audience, it's like screaming at us that this is what he can do. Eventually he finds out, basically, he kind of regenerates after he dies. So it's almost like in a game when you get killed and then you go back to your last save point. So he does that, so the last major event in the story, he goes back to that after he dies, which means he can kind of redo stuff. So if he screws up in some way, he can die and then go back again. We have seen these types of powers before, but I think what's really interesting about Subaru's power is that he remembers everything, like from his previous life, basically. So he'll do like, you can't call it like a level. So he gets to a level and then he lives it all and he screws up at some point, he dies. And then he goes back and he lives again and he dies and he goes back again. And every time he does it, he remembers everything that happened. Which kind of makes you think, why does it take him like 4 or 5 times every time to kind of get it right? I mean, obviously eventually it works in his favour, but I have to admit there are points in the show where you just want to like throw something at him because he just gets really, really irritating. His like cleverness depends on what the plot needs him to do. So if the plot needs him to kind of be stupid and die a couple of times, then that's what he does. If the plot needs him to be really clever and be able to come up with some really strategic, complicated plan to kind of bring people together to do something like bring this giant white whale down, spoiler, sorry, then he can do that, and he has those abilities as well. Sometimes it just takes him a long time to get there. So right at the beginning of the first episode, he gets into a bit of trouble with some thugs in an alleyway, and that's when we first meet Emilia. So this is basically the cute girl that kind of wants to save him in some way. But yeah, she does save his life initially, and then it's kind of more like he's doing everything he can to save her, so he turns into kind of this like hero character as the show develops, which is quite cool. So yeah, she's like this silver-haired, half-elf character who, she's like the cute, pretty character, but if I'm honest, I don't think she's that interesting. That's basically as far as it goes with her. I have to say their relationship and even kind of how the characters look and their costumes as well, they remind me an awful lot of Kirito and Asana off Sword Art Online. So there was definitely a bit of a connection there. But I have seen people say, oh, Re:Zero is just like Sword Art Online. It's really not. It's nothing like that. So watch Re:Zero and you'll see that it's nothing like Sword Art Online. But if you wanted to make any connection to it, then I'd say the characters kind of look the same-ish. So I gotta say, two of my favourite characters in the show by far are Rem and Ram, the really hot demon maids, the ones with the blue and the pink hair. Yeah, those guys are awesome, especially Rem. She's definitely wins it for like #1 female character in this show. To the point where you kind of just, you really wish that Subaru wanted to be with Rem and not Emilia, because they'd be a much better couple. They'd have a much better life together, you know, and he could just forget Emilia and her whole wanting to be, you know, queen or whatever, get to the throne thing. You know, he could go off, be with Rem, have a more simple life, live in a cottage somewhere in the forest, and have beautiful blue-haired, half-demon children. So one of the things the animators have done is they've made the show quite gory, which on some level I think maybe isn't totally necessary. And then on another level I think actually it really is, because what they show is the kind of the agonizing pain that Subaru has to go through every time he dies, and the guilt that he's left with, seeing what his friends and the people that he loves is going through every time he has to kind of restart that level and go back again to do what he can to try and save them and try and stop the hideous thing that's about to happen with people getting beheaded and their arms and limbs twisted and chopped off and God knows what else. But yeah, there's some pretty gory scenes. There's basically kind of blood everywhere, and then suddenly he'll die, and then it'll flip back to nice and clean and happy and everything's really good and we're going to start all over again, and then you're like, oh my god, are we going to have to go through that again? Are we going to have to watch him go through that again? So yeah, you definitely feel his pain in this show. So I think the animators actually did, and the writers did a really good job of making us kind of really feel that for that character. The villains in this show, again, they're quite interesting. They really keep the momentum of the show going, because there's constantly new villains. Obviously the main villain of the show is the jealous witch, which we don't actually really get to see. We kind of get this weird, like, shadowy glimpse of her within Subaru's mind, as he kind of gets all the hands twisted around his heart or whatever in a really kind of creepy, molesty way. But that's about it. That's all we know. Because the show ends. Like, the season ends and then we've got so many questions that are left unanswered. I think one of the good things actually about the way that it ends is that it doesn't actually leave us on a cliffhanger. So there's a positive. I think generally they actually ended it in a really good way. But you just can't help but think, you know, who's going to become the queen, and who's the witch, and why is he there, and what's the whole point of this entire show? Like, I don't really know. I've got so many questions. I'm just like, where is season 2? I think I'm like everybody else on this. You know, we're all in one group here. We're all there with our pitchforks and our big signs, and we're going, give me season 2. Which, you know what, just shows obviously this is a good show. People are liking it. People want more. So I think all around it definitely gets a thumbs up, maybe 2. One of the major points in the series is episode 18, which it feels like an extremely long episode. It's just dialogue. It's just between Subaru and Rem, the two of them having a massively long dialogue for what seems like an eternity. It's the episode basically where Subaru grows up, I'd say. It's when he kind of realizes everything that he's doing wrong. Not just like, oh, I need to go back to that save point, kill myself again and kind of redo it. No, I mean like on like a human level, what he as a person is doing wrong or what he needs to change about himself to positively impact all the people that are around him. And Rem obviously helps him and guides him through that, and their relationship in this whole series is so pivotal, so important. Okay, so I am now going to go and get into my cosplay outfit. So I'm dressing up as Emilia. The reason why I chose the character, I mean obviously I mentioned before, she's not my favourite female character, Rem's my favourite, but I picked Emilia because genuinely I love her outfit, and I love the long silver hair and boots, and it looks really cool, and obviously she's got, you know, cool powers and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I chose her. It's probably a kind of shallow reason, but hopefully the outfit looked really cool, and you guys definitely gotta let me know what you think in the comments.
I told my boys that I found the best woman around.
This is my outfit for cosplay on Saturday in a couple of weeks' time in London. So yes, I am Emilia from ReZero. The whole outfit, well, most of the outfit, I got from Cosplay Sky. So it was made in China and shipped over here. It took about probably 3 or 4 weeks to get here. But I'm really pleased with the quality of it. I think it's such a nice outfit and it fits so well. It's got, so these bits here, these are all made out of a bit of leather, and the rest of it's all like a really nice kind of silky material. It also came with some socks, but there were boots that you could buy, so they matched Emilia's boots in the show, but they were quite expensive, so I decided to opt for some less expensive versions that I found on Amazon. So I got these for like a tenner or something. They were so cheap, and then they look really cute with the little socks with the purple bits hanging out the top like that. And the wig is also from Cosplay Sky, and I love it because it came with all of like the cute accessories that go with it. So I've got like the flower in my hair and the cute hair clips. And all that kind of thing. So overall, yeah, I think I'm quite impressed with the quality, and I think it looks really cute. So I hope you guys do too. That's a wrap for today on our cosplay shoot and review of ReZero. Let us know what you guys think. We'd love to hear your thoughts on ReZero and maybe what some of your favorite new anime series were for 2016. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel, share the videos that you like. Next week we're going to be at Comic Con in London, so you're going to see me dressed up as Emilia yet again. And also check out some of the other great cosplays that are going on there and some of the booths and stuff. So keep watching.
She got me